Alright. Hello, people. Commentary thing. It doesn't appear to be working. Can you guys tell me if you can hear me? Okay. Hello, Colombia and France. This is the Masters Women. This is game. I'm not sure what game number this is. I will tell you when it pops up. So this is the Masters Women, and they just started off about 4 minutes ago. It looks like you've got a good drive by France and lots of waves hitting the camera, which is the vibrations, I'm assuming. You've got lots of big swings by France. Both these teams are very, very strong and fast, very well trained. There seems to be a lot of back and forth across the pool with both Colombia and France changing those, but it does look like Colombia is getting a little bit of a drive here. And that looks like a free arming call against... Which team's on which side? I believe it's against France. Yeah, that'll be a free arming call against France. So Colombians will get the free puck, strips it through to her forwards, just gets hit by that French player. Still making a good drive with lots of bodies on the bottom from both teams. Getting a little overpowered there, but there was a call on the play. And it looks like a barging call against Colombia. So that means the goal was preceding the puck with her body. It does look like the refs are going to... I'm not sure what that signal was. But the refs are definitely on a ref timeout, so they're going to discuss something. And the play looks like it's back on, so they fixed it, I'm assuming. Good start by the French. Looks like Colombia was a little bit slow on that drop. And it's on the far side, and it is quite late in the day, but the clarity is still pretty good. This pool has been really good about making sure the jets and everything and the filters are clean and ready to go. And there is a call on the play. And that's going to be against Colombia as well for stick infringement. So somebody touched something that wasn't the puck with their stick. And they're just still getting the play set up. And here we go. So this is France's advantage puck. Just a little past half, closer to the Colombians' end. France is making big drives to the Colombians' net, but Colombians are driving them closer to the wall and away from getting a goal. And we have another call here. This one is going to be against Colombia for stick infringement again. So since we're so close to the wall, Colombians are going to have a very little amount of space to drop down in, and this will be looking good for the French. But it is coming from that far side, so they still have to get a little bit further than if it's centered. I've seen Colombians in past just kind of take the puck and swim it out around the other side of the French, and let's see if they try to do that again. And it looks like they went right through where the French were. Everybody popped up at the same time, and the Colombians were still down, making that drive. See the refs swimming really hard to keep up. French are taking that out the side, trying to bait the Colombians into the middle and then drive back up that channel on the wall. This game has been very close so far. We're about halfway through the first half, and it's been a very close game. Both teams close to each end, and the Colombian just picked that off the French. Beautiful pick there. Don't think it was going to be clean, though. And that is going to be against the Colombians. So now the puck is centered on the Colombian net, and this is going to look much better for the French. Lots of bodies on the bottom. Very close to the net. Colombians working very hard to defend. And it looks like the puck may have gone in. Let's see if that was a goal. And yeah, that's going to be a goal for France. That was number 8. Give me 1 second just to find the names. So number 8 for France is Martel. Martel France-May. So good job of making that goal. That was definitely a team goal. Lots of bodies down, lots of people getting it in. So just about get started again. It does look like we actually have a penalty, and that penalty is for number 12. Oh, no. Number 12 from Colombia, which is Tanya. So it looks like she'll be out for maybe a minute, and the refs are having a conversation about what's going on. We're just finishing up a white timeout here, and it looks like they've got Tanya on the side, and she'll be there for 1 minute. So we're just about to get started on that next cycle, as France did score 1 goal against Colombians, and that was by Martel. Good fast strikes on both teams. Colombians only have 2 down for that strike, while the French have 5 players down. Maybe they're conserving their energy because they do have 1 less player for the next 45 seconds. Good pickup on that French player. Just hoping to get around the Colombian, but she tracked right through. A little bit of a sloppy layoff, but it did get to her next teammate. And you have 2 French driving the net against 3 Colombians. Colombians are doing a really good job of holding it on that wall, trying not to let the French pull it off and go cut across goal into the net. And it looks like Tanya's going to get in very shortly. And it does look like she's back in the pool already, just looking over my computer screen here. Colombians just chipping it into the corner, keeping it in a nice safe spot. French just waiting, catching their breaths. Trying to make that pull out and around, but Colombians just catching them in there, not giving them that chance. So that's number 12, their captain, who was the one who had the penalty, and she is back in, making an impact in the game, and I'm sure the Colombians appreciate having that 6th body back in the water. France is very close, and it looks like they did get another goal. Let's see if that counted. And that does look like another goal for France, and that was number 2, which is, yeah, okay, Mathieu. Good job on that last goal. Beautiful team goal, getting the puck out of that corner that the Colombians were very strongly defending. And I'm not sure if the sheet in front of me is wrong. Oh no, I'm just bad at counting. That was Honoré for France. I am so sorry about my pronunciation. If the French are watching this and have somebody that would like to come in and commentary, you are more than welcome to send them down to the commentary box, and we will get them set up so that we can have some commentary in French. We do have French-Canadian, but it's nice to have people who know the players as well. As well as Colombians, you can send somebody down too and we'll get you set up. Beautiful pick there by that French number 5. Good drive and then peeled off her right by the Colombian. And it looks like a few of those players thought they were going on that buzzer, but they're actually going on the higher pitch, and it looks like that did not work out so well for the Colombians. They are defending, but it does look a little bit dangerous for them. And that would be their buzzer, and let's see what the call is. It looks like that's going to be a penalty shot. So let's see if I can get those numbers on the penalty shot. So for Colombia, it looks like number 12, who is Tanya. France, it looks like number 9 and maybe number 4, which is Rolando and Yver. So let's see how this goes. Nice 2-on-1s by the French. Let's see if that's going to count as a goal. And it does. That's a 3rd goal for France on that penalty shot. And that was done by number 9, who is Yver. Ready to get started on the next set. Just 2.5 minutes left in this this half. Both teams working very hard to get to the center and beat the other team to the butt. Looks like they got a little stuck up in the middle. Both teams trying to take it in different directions and wanting to control it, as this is a possession-based game. Nice swim out by the Colombian with a layoff. And I can see a lot of you, I'm assuming from Colombia, shouting out on the YouTube comments, but unfortunately I do not speak Spanish, so I have no idea what you're doing. But I'm assuming it's Vamos Colombia. Colombians did a nice drive up into the French's corner. Let's see if they can get it out and around. You've got that one player who's ready there to pick it up and pull it into the net. Just one French player down trying to get it through. And getting into the corner is a timed activity, so you kind of just have to get the timing right between the other team and your team and when you're going to be ready to take it out. Because there is a rule that you can't hold it in the corner for more than 1 or 2 people. French look like they're doing a really good job of getting it out of their corner. Big swim across. You can see the Colombian dropping down on top, working really hard to stop that. They did slow them down, but it looks like it's still getting a really nice drive to the net. Nicely stopped by the Colombians, taking it back to the wall and being a little bit more stable and defensive. The Colombians working right up that wall with their nice clean layoffs, making sure that they are getting gaining ground and getting close to the net. France nicely outswims the Colombian there, getting a really big swim. 2 Colombian girls dropping. She does have her partner coming in to help her, but she decides to tuck it under her body. Nicely done by both sets of teams there. With only 6 seconds left in this half, looks like the timer's going to go up any second now. And there it is. So that is the end of the first half. And you have 3 for France and 0 for Colombia, and this is the Masters Women's game. So we do have the QR code and the website for the GoFundMe for the World Championships. They are supplying for the volunteers, the food, the accommodations, the pool. They're covering a lot of things, so if you like underwater hockey, you want to see us do well at this Worlds and the next, please donate there. You can either use a QR code or you can search Underwater Hockey World Champs 2018. We're just about to get started here with another 15 seconds, 10 seconds until we're off. Again, this is the France versus Colombia Women's Masters game. Still part of the round robin. This is game number 116. And that's going to be a false start. I'm not sure which team it's against. And it's going to be against Colombia for a false start. That means Colombia left the wall before the buzzer went off. So France will get the advantage off of that, and it looks like they're using that to its fullest. So they're going to gain a little bit of ground, keep it within the team as this is a possession-based game. And another call has been made. And this is going to be a stick infringement against Colombia. And it looks like it's being targeted to number 12. So another advantage for France, this one very close to Colombian net. Colombia doing a pretty good job of defending it, but France does have all those extra bodies down. It looks like the puck went in the net. So is it a goal? It looks like it's going to be no goal, disadvantage France due to obstruction. So France is being pushed back because they bodied a Colombian off the puck or out of their space, which is not okay. You can see a few Colombians a little bit late for their subbing there. taking it straight to the wall, nice and defensive. Very stagnant on the wall, not quite going anywhere. Both teams trying to defend, trying to go behind the other ones. Nice big drive by the Colombians all the way into France's end. Looks like they've got lots of bodies on the bottom, but so do the French, so there's still a good chance of holding this off for them. Thus far, France has been doing a pretty good job of defending, but both teams like to swim, like to cover ground. And this is going to be a stick infringement against Colombia, so the French are going to get a bit of advantage. Colombia's going to have to take a few steps back. Big push from the France here. Colombia doing a really good job of keeping possession even if they are losing a little bit of ground. Nice curl from the French, getting it out to her teammates off the wall and trying to outswim the Colombians. Big push up to into the France's end, or sorry, into the Colombian's end. It looks like that's going in. Was that a clean goal? Does not look like it. I can't quite see the ref, but it does look like a disadvantage to France for a free arming. So moving another player or puck or something out of the way with their left arm if they're playing right-handed, or their right arm if they're playing left-handed. Colombia taking advantage of that puck, gaining a little bit of ground, but another call has been made. This time, it is against Colombia for obstruction. So after that advantage, Colombia's going to lose all the ground they just gained, and France is going to make a good drive for the net. As you can see, there's a few bodies down in front of the puck just to obstruct the view and hopefully slow down the other team's players. As the other team, as soon as the French touch the puck, the Colombians have the opportunity to race directly towards it and try to maybe scare the French into shooting it early or the wrong direction or panicking and making a bad decision. And this is going to be obstruction, and it looks like they're throwing one of the Colombians out for obstruction. The Colombians' number is number 4, I believe, and that's Natalia. Yeah, so Natalia is going to be sitting for 1 minute for obstruction. And France is definitely going to take advantage of having that extra body in the water. Good swim. The Colombians do not want to do that. France just had a second hesitation. I think they thought it was the other buzzer. Dropping her shoulder, just making sure the Colombian couldn't reach her hand underneath and take the puck off her. Good drive to the far corner. Colombian being very defensive at this point in the game. They've only got 9 minutes left, and France is already up by 3 goals. Colombia making a big drive towards France's end. I'm assuming they are those tight layouts that Colombians are known for, laying off to each other and gaining ground out of everyone. France just punching that under the Colombian's body to her teammate, making a swim across the pool, and again doing those layoffs. they could be a little bit tighter, just trying to bait that other player in a little bit more. And then the following player can get a little bit more ground. Good peel off by the French, taking advantage of her teammate there. It's always good in this game to have as many people on the bottom as you can, just getting them close together. So you don't have to try to make big shots, you can just make little chips to each other and your teammates can be there to pick them up as well. It's a very team-based sport. As you can tell, you can't really talk to each other underwater, so you do have to have the same plan and everyone has to be following the plan for things to work out well. Colombia's just getting all that ground, but getting dropped on by 2 French players. Colombia's all alone out there. As you can see, it's a pretty far way up. This is a 3-meter deep pool, so just to get down to the bottom takes a few extra seconds, more than you planned for. So everybody's bottom time is a little bit shorter, so a lot of players and teams were prioritizing fitness on this cycle. And it looks like a disadvantage for the French, advantage for the Colombians in France's end for stick infringement. So Colombia's going to take as much ground as they can on this and hopefully put in a goal in the last few minutes. Big run by France. Looks like Colombian just shut her down there. So what you want here is to have another player on the other side. You can see her dropping there a little bit late, just trying to pick that up so she can get all that extra ground. Lots of muscle in that Colombian girl there, just pushing through. Using all her physicality to get the puck through rather than going around. Each player has different ways they like to do stuff. Some people like to smash, some people like to push. And that looks to be a call. Can't quite see what the call is, but it's going to be against France for stick infringement again. So we've had quite a few stick infringements, but we've only had that one penalty so far. And it looks like Colombia's going to call a timeout. So you're going to have 1 minute to rest, recuperate, recover, and get a few breaths in. And it looks like the French coach is talking to the ref, not quite sure what they're saying, but looked like a nice, innocent question rather than doubting the ref's calls. So on a timeout, both the coaches and all the players from the sub box and those from the penalty box can, or not those from the penalty box, I believe just players from the sub bench and the coach can come out onto the playing area to talk. Players in the penalty bin, I don't believe can leave, but the rest of the team can come over to them and they can be part of the conversation. And so this is going to be a Colombian advantage in the French end. Going right from the edge, they should have a pretty good way to get right up to the net. Lots of bodies on the bottom. French are trying to push it towards their corner so they can be a little bit more defensive. It's a nice stable place to hold it. And it looks like a nice drive to the net, but it does get called up. Let's see what the call is. It looks to be a gloving call against Colombia. So Colombia is going to have to take a few steps back after that advantage. France get a little bit of a rest. None of the Colombians attacking right off the bat, but lots of French players down. Colombians were a little slow on that drop and sitting pretty far back in the puck. So it's good that they didn't cross the line, but they might want to move up a little bit and attack a little bit more aggressively off those advantages. Colombians have pushed the French to the far edge, just making sure they stay in that corner because it is a very safe spot. It's safer to be in the other team's net, but like your own corner is pretty okay too. France making a good move for the goal, but just pushed out by the Colombians with their strong defense. It looks like it's going to be a stick infringement penalty shot. This is going to be called against the Colombians. So the French are going to have the opportunity to have two players attacking one of the Colombians. Can't quite catch their numbers from here, but the Colombians are going to have to keep her hand on that wall until the other players move the puck. Now she can push off the wall, and looks like a nice chip over her arm right into the trough. And it does look like that was a goal, so that's another goal for France. So for France, for nil Colombia. And it looks like that was number 3 from France who did score that goal, so that was Natu. And I do believe she scored a goal before, so good on her. So just getting reset here. All right, so we're off to another strong start here with the Colombians making a good drive, French being very defensive and taking it to their wall. Lots of bodies down on both teams. Colombians just trying to get one last goal in the last 3.5 minutes. French getting a good hold on that puck. 4 French down for 1 Colombian, but she does gain a little bit of ground. But without having that next player there to back her up, the Colombians could not keep it. This has been a pretty stagnant game on that far wall until you get a breakaway like that. But it does get shut down, so no one's getting too much ground. But that was a call. This is going to be a call against the Colombians for gloving. So I guess when they tried to get it out of that space, she moved the puck with her glove instead of with her stick. So the French are down very early. Again, the Colombians only have a few people down until the French have gained a bit of ground. Nice clean pass to the French. Lots of buddies down. They are definitely trying to make another goal before this happens. That was a perfect layoff. Definitely baited the Colombian player in there. And it does look like another call was happening. This is probably going to be against the French. And it is. This is for obstruction. So I guess on the layoff she may have pushed the other player forwards, or one of the other players could have been using her body to make space. And as you can see here, when the Colombians have the puck, they only have a few people drop, but almost the entire French team drops to defend it. Good push out by the French, just curled off her, a little bit extended on there. Very tight and controlled there. Lots of players from each team in the same little space. Colombians having a very good head up. It looks like this could be... Oh, there was a call. This one's going to be against Colombia for obstruction. So you're going to get pushed back to 3 meters, and again, you're probably going to have a few Colombians drop down and the entire French team. So the French are doing a very good job of pushing up right through the middle. They don't want to bother going to the sides. They don't want the Colombians to clear them to the sides because it's much easier to defend. So they're just pushing it right up through the middle, and the Colombians are doing a great job of clearing it all the way out to the corner, getting it away from their net, away from the dangerous areas. With about a minute left, the Colombians are making a very nice drive up that wall. They just need a little bit more support, and it looks like the Colombians were subbing, so they're going to have a few fresh faces in the water. a little bit more refreshed, a little bit more ready to make those big drives. All the way to the corner, the French defense is holding it, trying to make sure that the Colombians, even if they make it into their own end, don't squeeze in one goal in that last few minutes. It looks like there's a ref timeout, so they're going to have a conversation about some sort of call. It does look like the one ref is giving a penalty, so they're going to throw out a Colombian for obstruction for 2 minutes. So they are pushing back the French, but looks like they're throwing 2 players out from each team. Oh, maybe just the one. So they're going to throw out 1 Colombian player for 2 minutes, but they are pushing back the French. So I'm not sure what was happening there. But in the last 30, 40 seconds, they are tossing a few people out. So that's going to be the end of the game. They're throwing out 1 French player too. So it looks like both the number 9 for France, which is Yver, and number 10 for Colombia, which is Natalia, are both done for the game. There is only about 40 seconds left. Let's see how they go. Both teams are down to 5 players, with a nice chip over the French goal there by the Colombian. All the Colombians are down this time. They only have a few more seconds left to go. They're just going to hold it in the corner for a while. At this point, a good strategy for the French might just be have 1 person down there, have really good breath hold, and just wait it out. You've only got a few seconds left, and if the Colombians score in the last few seconds, they're going to be absolutely thrilled, but French might not be. So it does look like it's time, and that's going to be a French victory. So that's a 4-0 win for France. All right, that was the France versus Colombia Masters Women's game, game 116 in the round robin.